All right, here we are again on the beautiful banks of the Ottawa River, coming at you with Jibe Talking. I wish I could sing some Bee Gees, but you wouldn't listen to any more if I did that. With me here today is I'll let her introduce herself and her position here at the club.
Hi, I'm Mary Alderman, and I am the Assistant Membership Chair here at Jolly Roger.
Is it the assistant to the membership chair, or is it the assistant membership chair?
Well, I think I'm the Assistant Membership Chair,
Okay,
but some people have just called me the Vicey Vice, so I don't know what that means.
Oh, I like that, Vicey Vice. I wonder what that is.
I don't know.
So you're the Assistant Membership Chair here?
Yes, I am.
Is that a recent position? Or?
It is a recent position. I'm a fairly new member to the club myself. I've only been in the club for a little over a year now. And the membership chair, who hopefully is going to be able to be on this at some point in the future, has a young child, so he needed some help. And they asked me if I was willing to come in and help him with his responsibilities, so I happily obliged.
I think also, in addition to that, we've been going through such an incredible period of growth that I think not only was the baby probably, but just that we've had so many new members come through here. How many new members do you think we've gotten just this year? What do you think?
I think at this point we've probably gotten between 25 and 30 new members just over the last 4 to 5 months. And by the end of January, we're probably going to be somewhere close to 180, which is a decent sized club for this area of the Ottawa River and the lake. So we are a fairly good sized club. We have approximately 50 to 75 active members. And of those active members, I would say 45 of them you're going to see hearing about the club just about every time we have an event. They're all experienced sailors, and they all enjoy spending time teaching and offering their expertise to the new people in the club and helping to train and teach the things that they know. Most of them are still active sailors, and the ones that aren't have years and years of experience that they enjoy sharing.
Now, you mentioned active members. Does that mean that there are different club, or I should say different levels at the club of membership? And what are those, and what do they mean?
An active member is somebody who has full voting privileges in the club. They are the people who are responsible for the maintenance of the club, the events of the club, as well as the docks and the house, the yard. Those people are all integral parts of this club, and it doesn't necessarily have to be somebody who's been here a long time. Anyone can apply for the active membership. You do need to own a boat, not necessarily a sailboat, but a sailboat's even better. And the application process is very simple for this club. You just need to fill an application. We need to have 2 sponsors who are club members. If you're not familiar with the people in the club, come to some of our events, and members are always happy to help sponsor to get you the membership. But that's kind of what the active member entails. Then we have an associate member, which doesn't have the active voting status and things like that. We have a social member, which is just somebody who doesn't necessarily have a boat, but does want to participate in the club. We have about half of our members are actually social members who do come and enjoy participating in the club events that we have, or they're family members of active members who have also joined. And then we have our junior members as well. And they are the students of the junior sail program can join as junior members, or any young people of the community that are under the age of 18 can also join as junior members. So we do have something for everyone here at the Jolly Roger.
Now, if you are an active member or a associate member, is that what you said was one of the
there is associate member. Mm-hmm.
Is it my understanding that you can access all the benefits of the club, but you just are not involved in the parliamentary or the voting in the club, but you can still come to events, you can still come to work stuff if you want, but it's just when it comes time to vote, you don't vote. Would that be the distinction there?
Yes, that pretty much sums up the differences. You're still a part of the club. You still can participate, help other members, and enjoy all the benefits of our club. The membership does offer you cheaper rates on dockage. We are one of the cheaper places to dock your boats. In the Ottawa River, the depth is fairly shallow, but it can accommodate sailboats with a draft of about 4 to 4.5 feet. Much more than that, you'll probably need to go more into the lakes. But we do have a number of boats that do dock here, and the dockage fees are very, very reasonable. And we also, if you're a member of this club, you can also store your boats here for the winter. Winter storage is only $5 a foot, which is much cheaper than most of the other clubs in the area and the marinas themselves. So we do offer those types of things to our members as well as the events that we have. And I think that Jolly is a good value because we are one of the cheaper clubs for membership costs.
Now, you mentioned storing your boat here. Is there a way that you can get the boat out? Because I know a lot of times, you're at a club and sometimes that can be the difficulty. I have my boat. Now I need to get it out of the water and I need to find somebody. Do you have somebody who will help with that?
We do have the people that are members of this club, we help each other. That's one of the things that's important about this club is when we went to pull our boats at the end of this year, we had a work day, and the members who had all their boats on the docks, we helped each other and we were able to get all of our boats out. And the same will happen again in the spring, where we'll be able to have people come and help you put your boats in. If you're doing it and you're not doing it as part of a group event, members here are extremely helpful. You can ask somebody and say, do you know someone that can come and help me get my boat in or get my boat out? And they will definitely find somebody to help you if they themselves won't come and do it themselves. So yes, we are very accommodating that way. And it's really a good family environment here.
Now, you mentioned work. To belong to the club, do you have to do work hours at the club? How does that work?
The work hours themselves are not excessive, much lower than most clubs require. We do have work hours of about 8 for the first half of the year and another 8 for the second half of the year, which totals 16, which is not an excessive requirement. And if you, for some reason, are not able to complete your work hours, you could pay a fee to cover the cost. But most members do the work hours because there's simple things you can do. We have dock parties when the docks need to be worked on, yard parties to do the trimming and things that the yard people don't have time to get to or that are higher maintenance. We maintain the house. They paint, clean the siding, and things like that. There is all these different things that are maintained as part of a club that we have to put together to keep the club going. We don't hire a lot of services out. That's how we can keep the prices of our memberships reasonable. So the club members are the ones who basically do most everything for the club.
What if you have, some physical limitations? Are there things you can do for work hours? Because, let's face it, some of our people aren't going to be available, have the ability, if you will, to go out and maybe help lift stuff in, but they could do other things. Are there other things they can do?
There are a lot of other things that you can do that you can basically sit down to do. When we have club events here, if we're charging a small admission fee for people to come, we have someone that sits at the door who does get the participation fee. So you can sit there for a couple hours in a night. Right there, you could get 2 to 3 hours just for one event alone. You can help sell raffle tickets. You can...
That sounds like a lot of stuff. You also have a bar. Can they work at the bar?
Right,
also?
They can. The members are the ones who do tend bar here.
Okay.
So the price of the drinks, if you enjoy any kind of drink, whether it be alcoholic or none, are very reasonable cost to our membership.
I think a can of pop's what, $1?
$1. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
your mixed drinks are usually about $3.
Okay, so it's very, very, very affordable. But the work hours, what you're saying is they shouldn't scare anybody off if they're thinking about joining a club. They're not committing their life to here. They're just,
No, not at all. And the work hours actually come on a lot faster than you think. Over the last 12 months myself, I've only turned in about 16 hours, but I've probably put in 3 times that many. So, it may look like you're not really even working, and you don't feel like you're working. But as long as you're doing things to help the club, those things do count towards your work hours.
So what you're saying is you put the extra hours in because you're just having a ball with the other members and it just happened to turn out you did some work with it.
Exactly. This club is a place that I do enjoy coming. I try to come to most all of the events, the meetings, of course, and just participate and talk with people. And by the time I'm done with a month, I may have 6-8 work hours. And it doesn't feel like that because I've just been able to help the club by attending the events and just helping put them on.
Now, what brought you here? I know you're single, and do you have to be? I mean, are most of our members married? Are they various? Either married, single, I guess, different states of matrimonial bliss or whatever you want to say.
Or lack thereof.
Or lack
but anyway,
thereof, but I mean, are there a lot of single people? I'm not saying that that this is a meat market, but I'm just saying but are there a lot of people that come here that are not married?
There are a number of people here who are not married. There are also people here who are married that one spouse or the other likes to participate more than the other.
Sure.
Some spouses work a lot of hours and the other one wants to be involved in the club and the sailing. So then they come and they participate with the rest of us. So we do have a very friendly environment where we can actually just talk about stuff. I am single, and I didn't know when I first started coming here how it would be. And when I walked in the door, it just was such a welcoming environment. We do have euchre in the winter months. And when I walked in the door, everybody was just there greeting you, saying, hi, and it was really a wonderful feeling to know that I was welcome, even though I was brand new. And that sense of being brand new didn't last very long, because after about the third week, everybody knew my name and I was starting to learn their names as well. And then one thing led to another. I was a power boater before I started at Jolly Roger. And about 6 months after I joined the club, I was convinced to try to take the adult sailing class. Sailing wasn't my thing. I liked to get in a boat, just turn on the power, and I'd go out fishing. Well, I took the adult sailing class, and then I was like, this sounds like this might be challenging and fun. So next thing you know, I bought a sailboat. Well, that was quite an adventure in of itself. Eventually, we got it on the water. It did take a little bit of time, but because I was a member of Jolly Roger, they had some club boats that they were offering for sale to members. And so I bought one of the club boats, and that's a 22-foot Chrysler. And I really have enjoyed learning the boat as much as learning the ability to sail the boat. And finally, by the end of the season, I was able to actually complete a race with the boat. Now, when I say race, I mean everybody else was racing. I was just lucky to finish the course. The Ottawa River is fairly shallow, and in the process of the night, we got stuck in the mud 4 times.
Well, she didn't hang me out there, but I was with her, and so I contributed to getting stuck in the mud. She asked me to put the keel up, and I turned it the wrong way, and so that it went down farther, so we got stuck even worse. So she's being nice. She didn't tell you that part. So go ahead.
So anyway, yes, my crew, his name is Ted.
Her brother.
Yes, his Ted. We actually worked hard to be able to get the boat back to the shore. We did learn a few very valuable things. One of them being, don't let the rear of the boat come up when the motor's running, because you burn up the impeller on your motor and it costs you a lot of money to fix it. And the one thing that I will add is the motor was only literally 3 weeks old when that happened. But we also learned a lot of things as far as rigging the boat, sailing the boat. And that was all a learning experience. And then after that, I did go on a sail race with Ted called the Buccaneer, which is a race that the Jolly Roger Club does sponsor every year. And we do run that out of the Anchor Point Minke Marina area. And none of us realized that the weather was going to kick up, and we had 20 to 25 knot winds. We had 4 novice sailors, 3 novice sailors and Ted on a boat.
It's called the holy crap weather.
It was quite a challenge, and I mean, all things considered, I would do it again in a minute. But we had certain challenges that presented themselves as we were going on, and a few expletives came out of my mouth a few times. And, when you're in a 20, 25 knot wind and the sail lets loose, you're like, one of those. And, but we persevered, and we kind of worked together to solve that problem. And we actually made it safely back to the marina.
And got third place.
I
had to throw that in there.
Yes. Well, it was one of those things. We were just glad we were able to finish the race, because after everybody else picked up and left at the finish line. Here we were, and we're like, wait a minute, there's nobody here to flag us in, but it took us a while, but we did make it. And that's what sailing's all about. You learn as you go. Doesn't matter how new you are. You always have something more you can learn. You can be a sailor for 50 years and there's always something more you can learn. And the one thing with sailing that I've discovered and given up my power boating is that sailing actually engages your mind. You learn and you have to think everything that you do on a sailboat. And when you actually get to the end of the line, you actually have learned a valuable lesson. You've used the wind to power your adventure.
Sometimes new words you get learned.
Yeah, that too. And one thing about sailing too is you come in with a new bruise every time you go out. So it's just part of the adventure.
After we got back, I had all kinds of phone calls on my phone because our mother was back on shore, convinced that we were dead, and she had already called the funeral home to see where she could take our bodies. And then once I got back into cell service, I kept hearing bing, 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 and the phone calls came in. People were texting me, but I carry a marine radio. But the thing I have to ask you though, you talked about getting rough. Okay, did you ever feel like the boat was going to tip over or sink?
Never once. Sailboats are very, very stable.
That's what I was getting at. Go ahead.
That's one of the things about a sailboat. Even any of these boats that are 20 feet and up, even some smaller than that, the weight on the keel keeps that boat upright. It will heel to a certain point. Usually about 20 to 25 degrees is about as far as it's going to tip. Every now and then you'll heel enough to actually get the side rail of the boat in the water, which doesn't mean that you're taking on water at all. The hull of the boat is very solid. You kind of tip and you tip and you basically come upright again. So at no one point did I ever feel, even in those rough conditions, that we were unsafe.
Now, everybody had, just so you know, anybody, like I said, one of the two people that actually listened to this, everybody had life jackets on at all times. Safety is paramount. I always say, I have a joke on my boat. First rule of sailing is stay in the boat. Second rule of sailing is stay in the boat. Yeah, I stole it from Fight Club. Don't send me any evil emails. But the thing is, the boat is very stable. You're going to get wet when it's like that. I get sick. I'm one of the weak stomach people. I've mentioned that on another show, but I take Dramamine. But the point I guess I'm trying to make is if you go out with somebody, you should never be concerned about if you're in a boat, like she said, 20 and up, and mine's 27, the boat's not going to sink because the weather would have to be so severe that you would not even go out. If you're getting 4 to 5, even 6 foot waves, I wouldn't want to be out there, but it's just going to be uncomfortable. But, so you said you have a 22-foot boat. We already talked about that. What kind of brought you to the club in the first place? Like, how did you find it?
Well, actually, we do have a website. It's jollyrogersailing.com.
Yes, we do. Yes.
And there you do have a lot of useful information. You can get there as far as membership, anything regarding the courses that we're going to be offering. We do offer adult sailing as well as junior sailing courses. The membership rosters are in there for the members. There's just a lot of good information there. So that's kind of how I learned about the club. The club has been in existence this year 76 years, so it's a well-established club for this area. And when I actually started coming over here, it was because Ted talked me into coming over to play euchre, and that's not something we generally have a lot of around these parts nowadays. So we started playing euchre, and that's just kind of how I learned about the club. And once I started listening to the other people and getting to know people around here, I did really enjoy their company. We have people from all walks of life. We have engineers, doctors, nurses, lawyers. I'm a secretary of all things. But we have people in all walks of life. And when we come together as a sailing club, though, we don't even talk about what we do for a living. We only talk about the sailing and the fun of being together. So that's a really neat thing to have.
You mentioned coming here for the euchre. So what you're saying is if you want to come check out the club, you don't have to be a member to come here the first time. You could just show up, say, hey, I saw you online. I saw you on wherever, and I want to check you guys out. Would people be allowed to do that?
Yes, we do welcome anyone in the community that wants to come out and join us for our events. If just keep an eye on the Jolly Roger Sailing Club Facebook page or on our website, jollyrogersailing.com. And from there, you can actually find the events and things that we are going to be doing. Invite your friends to come with you. If you don't feel like coming alone because you don't know us, bring friends with you. You won't be disappointed.
Do you guys ever serve food at the club?
Yes, we do. On Friday nights right now, we do have events. We have a club band called Adisto, and they come out on Friday nights and play for us, usually from about 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. And we have a chef here at the club who is a member, and she does serve food for the members. It is at a small fee, donation type fee. And every week she usually has something different. So if you come out to our Friday night events, obviously, you can get something to eat, or if we have other events, we usually serve food with those as well.
That band, is that the one that's got Bobby Lee?
That's got Bobby Lee.
Bobby Lee. He's a blues man. If you want to see a blues man, you got to come out to the club. What else do you have going on in the winter? Anything? I heard rumor of some other things.
There are going to be some other events coming up. We are talking about having a Mardi Gras party in March. There is going to be a Christmas party in December.
I was thinking about trivia. Don't you guys do trivia?
Yes, the trivia. They do have trivia.
Yes, and her brother's team cleaned up on the Captain Ron trivia.
Yeah, I heard there was a team called the Naughty Nurses.
It's NAUTI, just if there's any discussion about what that means. This is a family show. What size boats can you accommodate here? I guess I didn't ask that, and I guess we should know, I know you mentioned the draft, which is, what size power boat do you think you could reasonably accommodate?
Well, the power boats themselves typically don't take as much water. Probably 25 to 27 feet is going to be about as long as you're going to want to put here.
Boat.
It's a really good sized boat, but they can go, down to small boats. I had a 17-foot skiff, which would have been perfect here. And up to the bigger boats, we are next door to another club. I see they have some quite large boats over there as well.
Where's the club actually located? If somebody wants to come here, do you have the address? Because I know I never remember what it is.
The club is located at 5961 Edgewater Drive in Toledo, Ohio, zip code 43611. And the phone number here is 419-729-4971.
By the way, I do not know who even would answer that phone, but if you call it and you find out, let me know. But look for the palm trees swaying and look for the tiki bar. Oh, no, have that.
No
stuff.
tiki bar, okay. But you can hope.
Yeah. Okay.
But then the website is jollyrogersailingclub.com.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, anything else you'd like to tell us about the club that maybe would bring people in here before we kind of close up? Anything more? You can say anything you want. I don't care. We can always edit it out if it's not good. If you start talking about, crazy stuff and stuff, we can take it out.
Rambling on and on and on.
All right. I could ask you another question. Here we go. The zombie apocalypse has begun. You have an SUV and a baseball bat. Where are you going first?
To the gas station, so I have enough gas in my car to escape.
Well, that's pretty boring. I bet that won't make the final cut. But anyways, okay. Thank you very much for coming in. Seriously, though, if anybody out there, if you have a friend and they want to know anything about the club, maybe at least they could listen for 5 minutes and see if this is something they might want to get involved with. But the best way is just to come out here and check us out. See what we're about. You're going to find it's a very friendly place. And my name's Ted. My sister's name is Mary. You can ask for us, and if we're here, we'll show you around. It's not a big place, but, we'll just show you around. So thank you very much, and I'll be seeing you back next time. Thanks.